has fixed that hitch. He now shoots it at the top of his jump. His release is really pure. And right now he's shooting it at 49% from three. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot at 49% from three for the season. But if he's at 42.3%, Lord have mercy, look out below. Jason Tatum, right now, my number 6 player in the NBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I tend to do this a lot, by the way. I do it more in baseball with the anytime home run, where I may play 4 players hit home run. I call it covering the board. You know, if I take 4 players, bet the same amount on each, I only need to hit 2 of them and I win money.
He's already got, 438 rushing yards on the season. He's looking like the old LT days where the Chargers were able to have that strong, dominant running back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
One of my favorites in terms of handicappers is my buddy Kenny White in Vegas, KennyWhiteSports.com. You can follow him at K Whitey Vegas, as in KWHITEY Vegas. And we always like bringing him on coast to coast to see what he's up to and see who he's betting on. And some of his favorite plays this week. Why don't we go through those first, Kenny? Good to see you. Start with Baylor. I like Baylor and Waco as well.
Hey, Ferrall, thanks for having me on the show. Always a pleasure. Love hearing your voice. Love being on the bench. And coast to coast as well. Baylor, this is a football team I think is getting better by the week. Dave Aranda, I think, a solid coach. I like what, they started the year with Daquan Finn, was the MAC quarterback, MAC player of the year last year, and transferred to Baylor. He had some injury concerns early and struggled. Sawyer Robertson, a dual threat's taken over, and he's been awesome. 8.1 yards a pass, 17 touchdowns, 4 INTs. TCU has dominated this team the last couple of years, and I think Baylor has had this game circled on their calendar. This team right now, I feel like they're clicking on all cylinders. This Baylor team is right now. So offensively, they're awfully good. The TCU team, not bad. Not what Sonny Dykes started with his first year, and then last year was a down year. Defensively, I got them 49th in college football. Their offense is still good, but they've underperformed to my power rating, just 2-6 ATS this year. I just think the market's overinflated them.
I like Illinois as well in Champaign and Memorial in this game against Minnesota. Like, honestly, I think the Illini and Bielema get it right this week.
Hey, he's only lost 2 games, Bielema and Illinois. They lost at Penn State and at Oregon. That's the only 2 losses they've had. This team, Illinois, is the better football team between them and Minnesota. And I love P.J. Fleck. I think he does a great job. I had a big bet on him last week against Maryland because I knew Maryland was going to have a huge letdown, and they did. And Minnesota jumped all over them. But this is a different story. Brett Bielema's team is big and physical. Now, the 2 quarterbacks, too. Brossmeyer for Minnesota. At home, his yards per passer 8. On the road, just 6. Altmaier, same difference. When he's at home, 8.5 yards a pass. On the road, just 6.4. So Altmaier is at home, and at home, 10 touchdown passes, no interceptions. I think Bielema gets this team once again. They beat them last year, 27-26 at Minnesota. This game's going to be the same way. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Illini wins by a touchdown.
You like NC State at Carter Finley and Raleigh against Stanford. Why?
Hey, they got their first spread cover against California. Dave Dorian does a good job, and C.J. Bailey, the freshman quarterback, now knows he's the quarterback. McCall retired, and Bailey's been good. 8.2 yards a pass, 8 touchdowns, 4 INTs. He's got to work on that, but he is a freshman. And his numbers are pretty much similar home and away. But here's the key to this game. Stanford's a bad team. I don't think they've won more than 4 games in 8 years now. They haven't been to a bowl game. This program has gone downhill. Troy Taylor's going to try to turn it around, but it's a tough job. He's 2-6. It's a 9 a.m. game. 9 a.m. game for Stanford. They're going to be sleeping. And NC State had the week off. They had the week off to prepare for this. So I think there's a lot of advantages for NC State here.
I'm hoping to be sleeping as well, Kenny. Indiana, my Hoosiers are 8-0, going to East Lansing, laying 7.5. Can they handle it? And can they get through Michigan to get to the game in Columbus at 10-0? How do you feel about it?
You know, there's got to be a letdown sooner or later with this this Indiana team. They have played great all year, and I'm on the dog here. Jonathan Smith, the coach from Michigan State's a Chris Peterson guy, and he was with Peterson for 16 years. And he turned around Oregon State. I can already see he's turning around Michigan State. They look like a much better football team week in and week out. So I took the points with Michigan State here. I hope Indiana wins to keep it going for you, but I hope I cover.
And what about the Pitt SMU game at Gerald Ford in Dallas tomorrow night? Pitt's undefeated. SMU 7-1. Great game. Too bad it's on that ACC network. It should be on national television.
Yeah, no doubt that game should be on national television. I'm looking at my numbers to see if I had anything on that game. I know I did not make a bet on that game. My numbers are right on what they're supposed to be. So should be a great game to watch. I'm not making a bet on it, though.
So you love the Colts at 5.5 Sunday night at the Bank in Minneapolis against the Vikings with Flacco going.
Yeah, you know, Anthony Richardson, what an amazing athlete. He can throw it 1,000,000 yards, but he's not an accurate quarterback. He didn't play a lot at Florida. The kid doesn't have a lot of experience as an NFL quarterback. So this team's better with Joe Flacco at the helm. Taylor's back at running back. They've won 4 of their last 6 games. They're 5-1 ATS their last 6. I think Shane Steichen's a really good football coach. And I think Kevin O'Connell is from Minnesota, but I think Minnesota's kind of overrated. I do a performance rating on these teams, and their performance rating comes out to 100, and they're an average NFL football team laying points to a team who I think is above average. Not much. I think the Colts 1 point better than Minnesota. So if you're going to give me those type of points in an NFL game, I'll take it.
And the Colts have been covering like crazy this year. Who do you like in the Lions-Packer game at Lambeau?
I like it over. As long as Love stays healthy, I think both these quarterbacks, the Detroit offense is clicking on all cylinders, and I don't think it stops this weekend. I think they both go back and forth.
What about the Denver-Baltimore game in the Charm City? Denver's got a defense. Lamar, a back and a knee. King Henry's been unbelievable pounding the rock. But they're behind the Steelers now in the 8-ball in the AFC North. The Steelers are in first, not the Ravens.
Yeah, Baltimore has been my kryptonite this year, Ferrall. I lost 10 tickets on the Survivor with them week 2 when they lost to the Raiders. The lowly Raiders they lost to. And then last week, I had thought there was no possible way they could lose to Cleveland, and I had them in every teaser I possibly could in moneyline parlays and got crushed on that team once again. So I really don't have a feel for Baltimore, and I'm passing this week's game. I'll let you pick that one.
So the Bengals feel like they're in a must-win every week. They're taking on Vegas. Vegas is awful, but they cover.
Yeah, but, this is a bad football team. It's a bad organization. The one game they get up for every year is the Kansas City Chiefs. They played their tails off because they hate the Chiefs. And then you have that letdown factor of losing that game. Your best player wanted out on offense. He's gone, Devontae Adams. And your best defensive player, Crosby, he wants out. There's problems there. Cincinnati, I liked what I saw from them in the first half against the Eagles. And I bet the Eagles in that game, so I came out fortunate. But it was a game that I was very careful. I didn't think it was an easy win for me. So this is a spot Cincinnati needs to win, and I think the Raiders have a huge letdown from last week.
What do you think Dallas does in Atlanta against Cousins? I've been surprised at Cousins lighting it up. They're exciting on offense at the very least, and Dallas has been so average.
They can't run the ball. They should have spent the money and brought in Derrick Henry. I can't believe Jerry Jones would be cheap. At his age, why be cheap now? Spend the money so you can win while you're still alive.
Everybody check out KennyWhiteSports.com. He's got killer snags in the NBA, college hoops, NHL, college football, pro football. He does it all. The guy never sleeps at all. Kenny, good to see you, my man. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, bro. You too. Have a great weekend. Let's cash some tickets together.
My man, Kenny White.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Fixed that hitch. He now shoots it at the top of his jump. His release is really pure. And right now he's shooting it at 49% from three. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot at 49% from three for the season. But if he's at 42.3%, Lord have mercy, look out below. Jason Tatum, right now, my number 6 player in the NBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
I tend to do this a lot, by the way. I do it more in baseball with the anytime home run, where I may play 4 players at home. I call it covering the board. You know, if I take 4 players, bet the same amount on each, I only need to hit 2 of them and I win money.
He's already got, 438 rushing yards on the season. He's looking like the old LT days where the Chargers were able to have that strong, dominant running back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High. We shift to NBA skinny now as we head into Friday night and the weekend of pro hoops.
Yes, very big Friday night slate here in the NBA. A couple of notes quickly, because I know we're getting short on time. Remember, we end at 6:30 East today before game time decisions gets going. Paolo Banchero, torn right oblique, out indefinitely, reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. That is brutal. I mean, your boy just had a 50-point game the other night, and now he's going to be on the shelf for a long time. Unfortunate for the Magic, Scotty.
Listen, it's one thing to, kind of pull your, oblique. It's another thing entirely to tear it. So, I mean, he's got nothing but problems there. It is aggravating. It is painful just to even pull it. Like, just even to, knock it off its rhythm. It'll make it like when I tore mine, I will never forget it. I went down in a heap, like immediately, like I tipped over like a tree on the basketball court. I went down. I was like, boo. right to the floor, game over, right to the car. And I couldn't tell you how hard it was to do anything. Like literally get in and out of a car, in and out of the shower, do anything. Dry off, get out of a sofa, get out of bed. I mean, you are done.
He's finished. And look, that says reevaluate in 4 to 6 weeks. If I was a doctor, which I only play one here on Coast to Coast, I bet you won't see him till the All-Star break. He'll be out for a very long time.
Player. He's a stud. He just had a 50-point game.
Great player. Grizzlies beat the Bucks. The Bucks suck. They're 1-4 now. They just lost to the Nets and the Grizzlies the last couple of days. Ja Morant, 26, 14, and 10. Huge night for him. Rockets beat the Mavs. Although the Mavs lost, Klay Thompson, sixth player in NBA history with 2,500 made three-pointers. Spurs beat the Jazz last night. How about this game from Wemby? His second 5x5 game of his career. 25 points, 9 boards, 7 dimes, 5 steals, 5 blocks. That's a night. That's called filling the stat sheet for your boy Wembanyama. And D-Book had 40 for the Suns as they won at the Intuit again.
You said he was going to have a huge game last night, and he did. But that game by Wembanyama is surreal, like putting up the numbers. And then I saw this guy Morant last night with a trip dub, and he had an alley-oop pass from his ass. He sat on the ground with the ball and threw it up from literally 20 feet, and the guy came flying in on the wing and did a reverse dunk, and it was beautiful. I did the same play this morning. I didn't dunk it, but I had the pump fake drive baseline, and I had a big in my face, so I did the high rainbow floater over his hand trying to swat me, and it went down.
Wow. How about that? Big play for you indeed. Buddy Hield off to a great start with the Warriors, averaging 21, shooting 55 from 3. He hasn't missed a free throw, and they're 4-1 without Curry. Magic Johnson gets another ring. He's got 10 rings. Enough with Magic Johnson. 10 with the Lakers, 2 with the Dodgers, 1 Michigan State, the Sparks.
What doesn't he own?
What doesn't you have? Will he get one with Washington? Isn't he part of the Washington group with the NFL now?
You know what?
Isn't he part of that?
I know he owns a piece of the Dodgers and everything, but honestly, it's really not that cool to see him, pretending like he's on the Dodgers when he was, really just a Laker. Do we have to, have this guy everywhere? At the movie theater? He's everywhere. He owns every movie theater. He owns everything everywhere. And he, gets to celebrate with the Dodgers. I'm sure he was at the parade today.
It's too much.
Magic Johnson. Honestly, he's everywhere. He's like Jesus.
It's too much, is what it is. All right, here we go. Tonight, let's do it. The Celtics are in Charlotte against the Hornets. We'll start there. Celtics minus 10.5, 233.5 the total.
I mean, they should cook the Hornets, right? For dinner. They're the Celtics, for God's sakes, and they're playing this team. Come on. They got to just finish them by 20.
They should. You would like to think that that's something that can happen, but we do not know yet for that. I kind of like the Hornets with the points, Scotty, believe it or not. I think the Hornets have they've been spunky here, 2-2 out of the gate. They've played all right. Next, Orlando, no Banchero, into Cleveland, 5-0, 7.5 for the Cavs, 217.5 total.
Oh, I think the Cavs are going to whack them. No Banchero. Franz by himself against the Cavs, who are unbeaten, and everybody's playing well. Spida, Mobley, Garland, they're all playing great. Oh, I love the Cavs.
Cavs tonight getting involved. The Knicks are in Detroit against the Pistons. Knicks minus 6.5, 217.5. I did see that Cat was questionable or a game-time decision, but either way, they should be able to handle the Pistons, right?
I would think. I'm on the Knicks here to get it done in Detroit at Little Sleazer, seriously.
The Kings, Sacramento into Atlanta against the Hawks. Kings minus 6.5, 236.5, big total.
Now, I don't see why, for what reason that Atlanta can't cover this number at home. I mean, the Kings they're decent. They're good. I'll give you that. I got Sabonis and Fox, la-di-da, Monk, but Ice Tray and company at home, you're giving them 6.5, and they got some talent. Let's go.
Bulls are in Brooklyn at the Barclays against the Nets tonight. Nets minus 1.5. Schroeder's been great for them, as we mentioned the other day. 227.5 the total.
I mean, they covered for me this week. I like Cam Thomas. Can they beat the Bulls tonight at the Barclays? I mean, I guess they got a shot. All they got to do is win by a bucket.
The Lakers got thumped in Cleveland the other night. Tonight they're in Toronto against the Raptors, laying 9.5 on the road, 232.5. AD is playing. I know there was some question about that, but with his hip, but he is available to go.
Yeah, I like the Lakers here to get this done in Toronto. I think that Toronto team, rebuild city. The Lakers, how are they going to stop the Raptors? How are they going to stop Davis and LeBron from doing whatever they want? Reeves as well. Hachimura's been good.
We'll slide one more in and then do the last two in the final segment. Minus 4.5 for the Pacers in New Orleans against the Pelicans, 232.5.
Yeah, I kind of like the Pelicans at home tonight. The Pacers had that big blown lead against the Celtics. They still won it in overtime, but they go down to New Orleans. I like Ingram and company at home. McCollum's out, though. He's out for a few weeks.
It's a new era in CFP to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Tatum has fixed that hitch. He now shoots it at the top of his jump. His release is really pure. And right now he's shooting it at 49% from three. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shoot at 49% from three for the season. But if he's at 42.3%, Lord have mercy, look out below. Jason Tatum, right now, my number 6 player in the NBA.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Are you okay with him moving to the head of the class of the Heisman with those two games? Because he wasn't even in the discussion before those two games.
This is a big opportunity for Dylan if he wants to continue to make his case for the Heisman Trophy, and I think he's shown that. I mean, what is he, a 6-tier player who's going to probably end up setting most of the passing marks because he's been around for so long? So why not also throw a Heisman Trophy in the mix?
Ferrall Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we got a lot of leftovers here on a Pain-Free Friday to wrap it up.
We certainly do. All right, two more NBA games. Nuggets and the Timberwolves, of course, getting together again. Always fun with these two. Minnesota minus 4.5 tonight. 219.5 is the total.
Yeah, I like the T-Wolves at home. I don't like the way the Nuggets have looked out of the gates. I know they won a couple of close games in overtime, whatever, but they have not looked good. People are getting restless in Denver. I'll take the Ant-Man and the T-Wolves at home.
Thunder off to a 4-0 start, just like everybody thought. They have been very good, and they're 11.5-point favorites in Portland against the Blazers.
Oh, I think they're going to whack the Blazers tonight in Rip City. I mean, they're just so much better. It's not even funny.
I agree with you. The Blazers stink, and Oklahoma City will go in there and take care of business for that. All right, hockey.
Everybody loves hockey.
There was a final this afternoon. Panthers beat the Stars 6-4 in Finland, so a win for them. They'll play again tomorrow afternoon. over there. Here we go. Islanders are in Buffalo against the Sabres tonight. The Islanders stink. They're 3-5-2, and now they've lost Barzal as well as they sent him back with an injury. So Sabres minus $1.15, 5.5. It's Buffalo.
Well, you said it. They never win in Buffalo. They always lose to the Sabres. So give me the Sabres.
Ottawa is at the Garden against the Rangers tonight. Rangers minus 195 now. Look out.
That's a done deal. Lay the goal and a half. The Rangers aren't losing this game.
Winnipeg into Columbus against the Blue Jackets tonight. Winnipeg minus 170 on the road.
You could do either or. You could money line it or puck line it. You'll win both.
And Tampa
Jets.
is in Minnesota against the Wild. Yes, Jets. And Tampa's in Minnesota. Devils are still in Western Canada after they smashed the Canucks. They're in Ferrall, Alberta against the Flames.
So the Wild haven't really trailed much the whole season. They've been in every game they play. I'll take them over the Lightning, even though the Lightning burned me last night. And then the Devils have looked fantastic out west. You see them just raking Vancouver the other night, 6-0. I'll take a shot with them tonight at Saddle Dome.
There you go. One last thing for me before you do the Ferrall finish. The owner's experience premium ticket package for the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight coming up. $2 million for the premium pack.
They should pay me $2 million to watch it, to go.
$2 million for the premium package. I can't believe people are going there and watching that fight.
Have you ever seen anything take this long? Like, this fight's been on the table for a year, and they're finally going to fight November 15th, and no one cares. Like, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, you're going to watch that fight? I think he gets his ass beat, too, Tyson. I really do.
He's 100 years old.
He's 100 years old. He can't take a punch.
What are you doing?
His brain is shot. Honestly, how is he going to take punches from this dude throwing haymakers, this young guy?
I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do it. I have no idea.
All right, so Ferrall finish. Orlando mass shooting leaves 2 dead and 6 wounded during a Ferralloween celebration. Yeah, it sounded like a celebration, all right, with guns. A teen suspect has been arrested for doing the shooting. Some young kid lost his mind and decided he'd start killing people at the Halloween party. New York City High School's JV football season is canceled after 3 teens are arrested for sexually abusing a teammate in a hazing incident. Nothing like having your teammates hold you down and rape you in the locker room. Nothing like having that end your season. What a horrific story. Nothing like New York City and some of the finest schools in the country with some of the finest kids you've ever seen, like those 3 losers. A woman sentenced to 25 years for poisoning her boyfriend wrongly, thinking that he'd inherited $30 million. She thought he inherited $30 million, so she poisoned him to get her hands on the bag. Turns out he did not inherit $30 million, and she gets to go to prison for 25 years. That is awesome. Sinaloa cartel leaders permit members to shoot at U.S. Border Patrol agents now. And you thought you had problems at the border with illegal immigrants. Now the cartel is saying, shoot the Border Patrol agents. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com. Have a kick-ass weekend. Enjoy all the football. We'll see you again Monday at 3 on Coast to Coast.